Today we are starting our tour on Ben Hillel Street, which is part of the Midrachov, the open mall marketplace in the center of Jerusalem. We're walking towards King George Street. And we're going to walk up Agrippas, passing the Machane Yehuda Shuk into Nachalot. Here we go. This part of the street is also closed off to cars. It's a pedestrian walkway. Many of the buildings here are being restored and expanded. Here we see this building project in front of us. There's a couple of old buildings that are being rebuilt and expanded to this magnificent or beautiful hotel in the center of town. So you can see ahead of us part of the older building that was built sometime in the 1920s, 30s, and then past that are even older buildings, part of the Even Yisrael neighborhood, which was one of the first neighborhoods built outside of the old city of Jerusalem. Even in Hebrew, Aleph Bet Nun, has the numeral value of 51, and this neighborhood behind us was originally built by 51 families or investors who together purchased the land and built their homes in a courtyard type of neighborhood. All together, one home extending from the next, and then an opening like a gate, which is similar to the old city of Jerusalem. So realize that the people who built this came from the old city of Jerusalem, and they were used to the protective features of the walls of the old city. So they built neighborhoods in this area, which later became known as Nachalot. They built the neighborhoods as courtyard type neighborhoods. Homes built around the exterior that also served as a wall to the neighborhood. And a courtyard in the middle, which had a communal well where they would collect the water from the rooftops and from the courtyard itself for drinking water. This building to our right is considered the first building is the windows of Jerusalem, and the second building is Binyan Kall, and they were built on the site of the Allianz School, that in Hebrew is known as Kiach, Kol Israel Chaverim. The Allianz or Kol Israel School was one of the first modern schools that were established in the community of Jerusalem towards the end of the 19th century, funded by Jews from France who wanted to help the community in Jerusalem by giving general education to the children of the community here. On the wall here near the pizza place and bag store, there is a description of the Moreshet, the heritage of Allianz, of Kol Yisrael Chaverim, and benchmarks of the establishment and activity of the school that operated at this site. Ahead of us is the Machane Yehuda Shuk, the Ben Yehuda market. You can see the clock, the decorative clock, this giant clock on the wall of the building. This is actually the back wall, or the northern wall, of the Chesed V'Rachamim synagogue in Maskeret Moshe neighborhood of Nachalot, or the Lev Ha'ir, the center of the city, the center of Jerusalem. Here see shofar and kippah, or kippot. We say shofarot and kippot in multiple. We are on Agrippas Street, in between Nachalot and Machane Yehuda Shuk. Machane Yehuda Shuk, in its base, is a market for fresh produce, for vegetables and fruit. And meat and poultry and fish. But it has become a place for tourism and also a place for nightlife. And there are many restaurants that have positioned themselves in the Shuk, in the traditional market. So this Shuk area serves also as a market, but also as an attraction for internal tourism and incoming tourism. Many people come from around Israel to visit the Shuk, to see the colorful market and activity. And also to learn about the heritage and history of the Shuk, Machane Yehuda. I've also done some videos on the graffiti in the Shuk, in the market, the Machane Yehuda market. Jerusalem is a very mountainous or hilly area, so if you walk along the streets, you're usually either walking up the street, walking up a mountain, or walking down. So now I'm walking up Agrippas, but actually walking down a hill towards a valley where I will in the valley, I will turn to the left down Nissin Bechar Street. See the synagogue here, it's called Agudat Tzirei Paras, which is the union of the young people from Persia who established this synagogue on Agrippas Street in 1922. Here you see the sign Nachalot. This whole area is actually considered Nachalot, or Lev Ha'ir, the center, the heart of the city. Here's a very popular hummus place on Nissin Bechar, and this yellow-orange house. And of course there are synagogues and plenty of stories and traditions that have to do with this street. This is Bet Knesset Shauli V'Kashi, which is a confederation of two families, and it's a historical site, as you can see by the sign, the blue sign on the wall of the synagogue. תודה.